It is 2 a.m. The final exam is hours away, and Aryan is staring at 12 months of unread curriculum, desperately trying to force an entire year of knowledge into a single night. Then the grid fails. The room goes black. He strikes a match, lighting a single clay lamp, and tries to squint through pages of complex equations in the flickering, inadequate light. Extreme fatigue crashes into him. Faced with a physical mountain of pages and eyes heavy from panic, his brain simply shuts down. He stares at the ink, completely unable to process another sentence. This graph plots the exact mechanics of that failure. The blue line is time remaining, steadily ticking down to 0. The intersecting red line is the effort required to catch up. As time vanishes, the required effort skyrockets into a physical impossibility. This is the tomorrow trap, the delusion that the future somehow contains more hours and more energy than the present. Banking on an all-nighter assumes a perfect environment. But when a single variable breaks, like a localized power outage, the entire strategy instantly collapses. Rewind exactly 30 days. Aryan had an entire month until the exam. The deadline felt comfortably distant, insulating him in a false sense of security. When his mother reminded him to study, he offered a standard defense. He had plenty of time, and he would absolutely wake up at 4 a.m. the next morning to tackle the first chapter. The 4 a.m. alarm would ring, and sleep would win. By the afternoon, he was playing with friends. By nightfall, the excuse mutated. He was too exhausted from the day, so he would wipe the slate clean and start fresh the following morning. That repeated promise quietly drained the momentum out of every single day. The work didn't disappear, it simply accumulated, waiting in the shadows. When the results arrived, Aryan was held back while his friends moved forward. He understood the material quickly when he actually paid attention, but he severely overestimated the discipline his future self would possess. The deep shame of watching his classmates celebrate drove Aryan to his grandfather, looking for a way to make sense of the failure. His grandfather didn't offer a lecture. Instead, he pointed to a small green shrub growing in the center of their courtyard. He asked Aryan a simple question. If I refuse to water this plant for 30 days and then pour an entire month's worth of water over it on the final afternoon, will it thrive? Aryan knew the answer immediately. The soil would flood, the roots would suffocate, and the plant would die. A biological system can only process a highly limited amount of resources at any given time. The human brain processes information the exact same way. You cannot force a neural network to consolidate 30 days of complex logic and memory into a single frantic evening. Instead of a violent flood, a plant requires a tiny, consistent amount of moisture every single day to build a strong cellular structure. This chart visualizes the alternative. Method A is the cramming approach, ending in structural failure. Method B shows cognitive compounding. By reviewing material in small increments, you force the brain to physically strengthen its synaptic connections day by day. Look at the first few days of that steady build. The individual blocks are so small that the progress feels almost invisible. That lack of immediate, obvious payoff is exactly why most people abandon the strategy. But cross the 2-week mark and the friction drops. The daily review stops requiring intense conscious willpower and smoothly transitions into an automated habit. You defeat a massive, distant deadline not through an adrenaline rush at the end, but by generating steady, unglamorous momentum right now. Aryan internalized the courtyard lesson. He made a strict operational rule. The word tomorrow was permanently removed from his study plans. To enforce this, he anchored the rule into his physical environment. He hung a large sign directly above his desk, explicitly declaring that today was his only available resource. His execution protocol became immediate. Whatever the teacher covered in the morning, Aryan reviewed that exact same afternoon. He refused to let the material age. By handling the workload in 20-minute daily blocks, the terrifying, unconquerable mountain of a year-long syllabus dissolved into a perfectly manageable series of stepping stones. A year of those tiny daily increments yielded an enormous mathematical output. The student who failed his exams ended up securing the top rank in his entire district. The mechanics of compounding apply far beyond the classroom. A financial portfolio, a physical fitness baseline, and personal relationships all require the exact same consistent daily investment to grow. You cannot schedule an ambition for an arbitrary date. You either construct it in the present moment, or you are simply nursing a fantasy. High achievement is the compounding interest of honest daily effort. The work is waiting for you, and it begins today.